Probably just booking roles. The difficult part lately has been the decline of the industry. And there's a lot of factors I think that are impacting that. Before the strike, I was averaging. So the agent I had at the time, there's a casting site that everyone uses called Actors Access. And if you have representation, casting directors, if they want to see you for something, they'll send the invite to your agent. Then your agent sends it to you through that site. You tape the audition and then you submit it through that. The first agent I had, I was allowed to go on and look for roles that I was interested in and self-submit. Currently, only my agent can submit me. If I see something that sparks my attention, I can say, hey, can we submit for this? And she'll submit me. But before the strike, I was averaging 3 to 5 auditions a week. And then after the strike, everything slowed down to where it was only non-union indie stuff that was on there, a lot of commercials, and it just never really picked back up after that. Now I'm fortunate if I get 1 audition a month, maybe 2.
What do you think is the bigger picture that changed? And it's funny because with so many people trying to get into the occupation of being an actor and actresses, you would think that film directors would be like, hey, let's go for it. But I'm constantly seeing the same actors and actresses on every single movie that's coming out. It's become redundant because I'm like, you get used to seeing, let's say, for instance, Captain America playing the Human Torch. And he goes from the Human Torch to Captain America. And you'd be like, then he's playing another thing. I'm like, okay, don't you have any other people that are auditioning for these roles? Based on your experience, what do you think is going on?
It's money. It comes down to money. After the strike, the studios started, and the pandemic hurt it too. It went from a movie would release, it would go to the theaters and stay in theaters for a certain amount of time before it was available on streaming services. But then at first, when it came out, it was available for rent for, $20 or whatever. Then it would go to the streaming platforms. Well, after the pandemic started, they shifted their model to, well, it's in theaters, but if you don't want to brave the theater, you can watch it at home and it'll be expensive, but it'll still be available to you. And they started doing all this binging of TV shows and people want it right now. And the bigger studios or streaming platforms like HBO and Netflix, they started shelving some of the projects for tax write-offs, so that hurt things. And then tax credits is a big thing. Some of the tax incentives started drying up in some of these locations. And other places, Canada, Europe, it started becoming cheaper to film there. And then so if you look at who are famous actors, the top 3% that make the most amount of money that are the celebrities, they can afford to fly to Europe or to Canada or to wherever, or to New York if they're local to Los Angeles, and work and put themselves up in a condo or whatever for that 2-month shooting schedule.
Right.
And somebody like that isn't going to work for scale, but it just started being cheaper for them to work, to have somebody that could afford to do it, to go elsewhere and work as a local hire, meaning production's not paying for their living accommodations. And I've done it. I've traveled to Arizona. I've traveled to Texas. I've traveled to Atlanta and put myself up while I'm filming. And
an opportunity, huh?
Because it was an opportunity, trying to get experience and footage.